Hey, today we're going to go over research, the mechanism of research. So, the unique mechanism behind the problem of research is shallow sleep syndrome, and then the unique mechanism behind the solution of research is this unique formulation right here, the combination of all these ingredients. And I'll go more over that as soon as we get to that part. But first, let's talk about the breakdown of the unique mechanism behind the problem, right? So this is the doctor speaking to the spokesperson, John, and the doctor tells him that he's suffering from shallow sleep syndrome, which is the unique mechanism behind the problem, right? And then basically what the copywriter does is defines what shallow sleep syndrome is and why it's important. You know, it basically means you're not getting enough sleep, and then he goes into why it's important. It's the most important, most regenerative phase of sleep. Um, right. And then this part of the story too. The doctor, before this, the doctor gave John, the spokesperson, a device so he can measure his sleep. And yeah, it also serves as proof as like um how the doctor knows that he's suffering from shallow sleep syndrome. And then this is the counterintuitive and surprising part, right? Which the unique mechanism behind the problem usually has. And, this basically says, the public and medical establishment has it all wrong. It The hours of sleep someone gets is not important. What is important is the amount of deep sleep you get, right? And then here we go into tying into secondary benefits, right? Brain, immune system, heart, metabolism, and it also continues on why it's important. All the things, immune system, brain, heart, metabolism, they all tie into deep sleep. And then it goes on to saying goes tie goes into saying uh, ties into secondary benefits or yeah. And then it goes back to John, the spokesperson, telling the audience or the watcher of the VSL that he's gonna explain in simple terms what the doctor told him. And pretty much he starts off by saying why is deep sleep important? And goes into um brings up this term, metabolic regeneration, and then he defines what it is here and why it's important to the watcher or reader, which the reader watcher cares about um the fat burning, right? And then here, starting here, he starts to tease a hormone, right? And it's the same hormone that he continues on teasing right here while while tying into secondary benefits of the skin, right? And then energy, vision, muscle, and he goes back into what the main problem is, which is losing weight. And then he reveals what that is, which is the human growth hormone, or HGH, which, we enjoyed in abundance as we were younger, right? And I think it would have been better if he mentioned that we lose this hormone as we age, or maybe the audience already knows that. Anyway, and then he talks to the audience, the watcher, that you may be getting an idea of what what the damage is by not getting enough deep sleep, right? And then I should note that down. Talks to the audience. And then he goes on to explain why it's a problem, right? First he goes into first thing he says is about the main problem, right? Which is fat burning. And then he goes more into the fat problem here and here and here. Right? And then so pretty much he sums it up for them that lack of deep sleep is something we should all avoid. And this is a quick objection handle because he just went over why lack of deep sleep is something we need to avoid, but the audience may think that, yeah, they may already be getting enough deep sleep. But he goes into this. Even if you think you're sleeping well because you're in bed and asleep for 7 to 8 hours, you're likely not getting anywhere near the deep sleep you need to truly rebuild health and restore metabolism, right? And then he goes into proof, because this is kind of a claim as well. And then proof one is a study. And then this is proof two, which is testable proof. You know, and then this goes on to saying, um, okay, let's go back to this. Proof one, study. Obviously, you know, it's obvious why this is a study, because it says recent studies show. And then this is testable proof because it asks the audience to do something, right? Or realize something. There's so many health foods, fat loss diets, gyms, fitness programs, supplements that are made for like weight loss, and they're literally everywhere, and they've been popping up for literally forever now. But people still get fatter and sicker every year, right? Testable proof. And this goes on to saying like, don't expect different, right? It sort of reinforces the idea of things of hold on. And we shouldn't expect to experience anything different if we're missing out on the one regenerative form of deep sleep responsible for everything we need to dramatically improve our health, appearance, and fat burning metabolism. Yeah, so it pretty much says it reinforces the idea of that things aren't gonna be better if you continue like this. Or so this is pretty a natural, really great transition. So what's causing this shallow sleep syndrome epidemic? There are two reasons. The first is age, right? And honestly, we can't do much about aging. And it says um, how deep sleep drops as we age, pretty much. And, you know, it's you can't stop aging. It's natural. And then he goes on to saying, um, he teases the second reason why it's important. See, he like, and then tells the second reason, which is stress and technology. Stress and technology. I feel that's a little bit weird, stress and technology. I would think that stress would be the second reason and technology would be the third, but whatever. And it explains, and it's also like a claim. And then there's, everything that could make a person stress, which also serves as proof, right? That stress is part of that. Then it goes into, and then it goes into the technology part of the second reason, which is blue light. And then here again, it goes into um, it goes into the all the things that emit blue light, which also kind of serves as proof because who doesn't have all these, at least one of these things in their home? And then he goes, um, this is kind of like testable proof right here. And, you know, and then here's because they could easily like look back into their life and see if they're one of these people, right? And then he shows a study. He talks about a study, the results of a study, pretty much. So he pretty much summarizes why the second reason, which is stress and technology, is causing our deep sleep levels to drop by a lot, and by a lot, and he's pretty much like making it a real problem again, right? So you can transition into the unique mechanism behind the solution, summarizing it. Oh, summarizing it, digging deep, summarizing in reason, digging deep into the problem. You know, it's pretty well known that people believe that we only use 10% of our brain's potential. So he kind of connects that to our body's, um, I guess, fat burning potential, right? And he says we only use 10% of our body's metabolic power, and some of us even use less. So that's kind of like comparing to something they understand in simple terms, and then he transitioned. Then we go into the unique mechanism behind the solution, right? Which is the claim. No, he kind of like, it's a claim here. He says it's in us already. We just have to unleash it, this powerful thing. And then and he's not making it boring either. He's saying it like he's talking to a friend. He's making it exciting. However, the craziest part of all of this is you already possess, you know, it's not like this naturally, however, this fat burning healing potential we already have. Okay, my bad. However, we already have this fat burning heal potential, right? It's already within us, just waiting to be tapped into, right? That's what I just said is pretty boring, but he makes it the writer makes it exciting, right? What the crazy part of all of this is, right? And then the doctor gives him the solution, right? And this is part of the story. The first part says pretty much instructions for what to do for John, and then the second part is it's more powerful than you think. Pretty much when the ingredients are combined. I'll just read the second part. Taking any one of these ingredient nutrients on their own will be mildly beneficial. Yet you'll be absolutely amazed by the powerful synergistic effect you'll experience when you take each of them at the same time as I've instructed. Right? So that's what I believe is the unique mechanism behind the solution, this unique combination of ingredients. It's kind of already selling them on the product as well. Right? But the important part here is that it's not a supplement yet, which I'll get to in just a moment. You know, right here, this kind of tells that uh, people may already know of the individual ingredients, but when you take each of them at the same time together, they experience they they're very powerful, right? It's kind of an objection handle if people already know the ingredients. And the and then the spokesperson already has a lot of credibility. So, he already recognized some of them from the formulations he's worked with over the years, but he never imagined the impact they could have on deep sleep when they're taken at the same time. And I noted down that it's again setting the expectation that the reader may have heard of the ingredients, probably don't think nothing of them individually. but they are powerful when they're taken at the same time, right? And then quickly list out the ingredients and how much of it and the claim, right? And then starts out with melatonin, right? Which is everyone knows what melatonin is, or at least I assume everyone knows the melatonin is. And then it connects every single one of these ingredients back to deep sleep. And then it kind of summarizes the formulation like it's a unique list of 100% natural ingredients that work perfectly together to significantly enhance our deep sleep and the metabolic regeneration we experience. And then he tries it here. I want to say that this is the claim for the unique formulation, right? But John, the way he tries it and everything he experiences, kind of like a case study, which serves as proof for the for the for this unique formulation, right? It serves as proof, and then and then we have another piece of proof, which is a sleep tracking device John used, right? And then here's another piece of proof that he shares with. He shares the unique list of ingredients with his sister, which also works for her, right? And all of those pieces of proof, John's case study, um, Lisa, his sister, and the sleep tracking device, serves as proof to reinforce this claim right here that the unique formulation really helps with shallow sleep syndrome, right? So here we can find he tries it, he's skeptical, but something amazing happens. He describes the results of the very first night. Um, kind of future paces the days here. Like this is what happened the first night, and this is what happened the second night. Then a few days after, you know, his the results he got each morning, results. And then he goes on to saying that he's extremely grateful for everything. You know, which if the audience or readers like extremely into a bad place, it makes sense why he would put that there. Right? Then he goes back to the doctor, and then here the doctor's speaking, and we have the sleep tracker as proof. You've already increased your deep sleep by almost 400%. I can promise you this: keep taking those nutrients, and you can expect tremendously more profound improvements over the next few weeks. And there's also um, it's also like a benefit to attach to the proof. And then it goes back to the spokesperson saying that he was right, saying that the doctor was right about he can that John would get more improvements over the next few weeks. And then he goes into saying what life is like with the solution. I think these are pretty great metaphors too. It's like a taking a blowtorch to butter. And then he does another. My metabolism became a fat burning furnace. Right? It works so well that he shares it with a close person, and then her results. And then it goes into product build up post review. I also want to note that the that this that these ingredients weren't in a supplement form, right? Which goes into the product build up post review. Um, During this section, he pretty much tries to make it into an affordable supplement